We had 2 shades of black on our whiteboard at work with a poll to see if anyone could notice the difference. I think they're like 1 hex code apart. Aren't there those tests where you can do that? You can tell the color difference? Let me find one. 1 in 255 women and 1 in 12 men have some form of color vision deficiency. Wow! 1 in 12 men, but 1 in 255 women. Wow, that's a huge difference. I knew it was a little more common. I didn't realize it was that much of a difference. That's crazy. BuzzFeed color vision test. Okay, let's do it. I love BuzzFeed. Every BuzzFeed quiz is real. Here we go, guys. Okay, this is clear. Choose a square that's a different shade of yellow. Obviously, it's 5. Okay. Different shade of green, it's 1. Okay, you are not an idiot. Different shade of brown, this is 2. It's a little darker. Different shade of blue. Okay, here's the thing. My monitor, I kind of have it like pull out a little blueness out of my monitor. So this is a little hard for me because I have like it, I have it reduce the blueness of things a little. I think it might be 8. 8 looks slightly darker to me. 9 also looks slightly more vibrant. I'm gonna say 8. It was 8. Okay. Different pink. This is clearly 4. This one's more saturated. Choose squares a different shade of gray. It looks like 3. 3 and 9 actually both look darker to me. Why do they both look darker? I think, hold on. I'm gonna close my eyes for a second and open them again. Okay, now they don't. I think it was just because of the last couple. It's 7, right? No, it was 3. I was crazy. It was 3. Purple, 2. This is 6. This one's guys, they're just darker every time. Remember the video of Aethel showing us color blindness to Nyan? And she got so sad. I've had a few friends that have said they're varying degrees of colorblind. It's interesting. Actually, 2 of my artist friends are a bit colorblind. One of them is actually Joel's model artist. Doku has, he basically can't see a lot of colors. And it's mostly, still the hardest thing for him is redness. He can't see any red at all. So orange through pink, you know, is just not visible to him. So when he draws stuff, there's this joke that we keep calling his art 50 Shades of Orange because he'll have a lot of orangey, like, tones in his art and he can't tell. He thinks it's grayscale. So he puts like orangey tones in. Actually, Joel's hair was supposed to be white and then it turned out like pink. And it was because he drew it pink. He couldn't even tell it was pink. And then Joel was like, you know what, let's keep it. Your best friend's green colorblind. You did a test how your model looked for them. It made you so sad. Yeah, I wonder what mine looks like to a lot of people. I don't really have a lot of reddish tones. It's just my eye. Like yes, this outfit has some, but on my main outfit, not really. You have a sleeve tattoo with a red snake and green leaves in it. The artist told you he's red-green colorblind afterwards. You wouldn't know. He told you after? Pause. I don't like this story. I mean, I do, but I don't. They told you after. That's, interesting. It's probably labeled red or green. Yeah, but when you can't see the balancing against everything else, that's all crazy. Some artists hide their colorblindness because people discriminate against them. True. I know quite a few people that are colorblind and in some form of the arts or design or something like that. And I think there are ways, especially if you're working in something digital, that you can just tell. That's it. You can just tell. Sometimes you just can't. I've had friends draw me and get something entirely wrong. And I'm like, where'd you get this color from? And they're like, is that reddish? And I'm like, yeah. And they go, oh, actually, I can't see red. So happens quite a lot. It gets revealed during the process. You being colorblind, everyone's saying you should buy those Enchroma scam glasses. Is there any merit to anything like that? Do any of those work? Not do they work, but like, is there anything that it does? Yeah, one person's saying, what I thought to believe was green was actually a different color. It now shows something different. How do I know that's the same green everyone else is seeing? Having the glasses made me more colorblind. I don't know what I'm seeing anymore. Is this X color the actual color everyone else sees? That's how I felt. You know what it is? Okay, no. This answers my question. So it doesn't make you see a new color, right? Which is not what I thought it could ever do. But what it does do, there is an effect, and this is what it is, and this makes sense to me. It enhances the separation of colors that people might have issues with. So you can tell when you put them on, you can tell, okay, this thing, like if everything looks brown to you and a little greenish, and you can't see any red, then when certain greens and browns look more separate from each other, more enhanced, you can tell, oh, that one looks different because it has some red in it. So it lets you use that cue to identify that it has that in it. They tint everything, well, right, but they tint it based off of the color that it actually is, so that the person who is colorblind and can't see the base color, they see this enhanced version of it, so they can use that context clue to tell that it is different. That's what it is doing. I doubt that. No, these are people actually saying that they tried them and then they were like, this is what it did instead. No, it didn't have me see another color, but this is what it did. Another person who used them said, obviously it's not as advertised, but for them, they said purple was suddenly a color, and I mean a color. It popped. I could see the amber and yellow traffic lights. Green light no longer looked white. It didn't obviously look like a new color to me, but everything that I couldn't see before did pop enough for me to be able to tell that it was a different color than what would normally look exactly like an existing color to me. So they were saying a lot of blues looked brighter to them normally, and they couldn't identify when something was blue or a bit more monochrome before, but because of the glasses, they were able to identify that when something looked a certain weird brightish tone, that it was something that had blue in it. That is why this person liked them. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me because I never once thought, like, when people put them on initially and they were like crying in YouTube videos, that like someone could see a new color. Like, I never once thought that, but there had to have been something that they were trying to sell you. So this makes sense to me, at least. It's just that they don't advertise it as what it is, which is it just enhances certain things for people with certain types of color blindness, so they could at least use the context to be like, oh, that probably has red in it because it looks a little off to me. Right? Like, that makes sense. It's just like tinting things differently for these people so they can identify it. The thing is, if they just said that, I'd still be like, oh, that's really cool, because then these people can identify a thing, right? But of course, that's not sensational enough, so we gotta say that it's saving lives and making them see colors.